Charles Oliveira was once feared as the most dangerous man in the UFC lightweight division, a walking highlight reel with the most finishes in UFC history. His name sent chills through his opponents. But on the night of UFC 317, all of that came crashing down. Ilia Topuria had arrived. Known as El Matador, Ilia Topuria was a storm quietly building force. After dismantling Alexander Volkanovski and becoming the featherweight champion, many expected him to enjoy his victory. But Topuria doesn't do what's expected. Instead, he shocked the MMA world again by announcing a move up to lightweight, straight into a collision course with one of the most decorated fighters the UFC has ever seen, Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira. The announcement set the MMA world on fire. Fans debated nonstop. Was Ilia biting off more than he could chew? Could he survive the chaos, the jiu-jitsu, the relentless forward pressure of Charles Oliveira? The press conference days before the fight was electric. Charles smiled with that calm, almost innocent look that masked the killer's instinct. Ilia, on the other hand, was ice-cold, focused, reserved, and dangerous. He didn't flinch. He didn't joke. He didn't sell the fight with words. He sold it with silence. The media, fighters, and fans were split. Some said Oliveira had too much experience, too much grit, too much ground game. Others believed Topuria's undefeated record and terrifying power were destined to shock the world again. UFC 317 was no longer just a card. It was a proving ground, a generational clash. The night arrived. The lights dimmed, the crowd roared, and the walkouts began. Charles Oliveira came out first, smiling to the rhythm of his somber walkout. The crowd in Las Vegas gave him a hero's welcome. He looked relaxed, but those who watched closely noticed it. A slower step, a deeper breath. This was not the same Oliveira who ran through Poirier and Chandler. This Oliveira had something to prove, maybe even to himself. Then came Ilia. No dancing, no gestures, just a slow, purposeful march to the octagon. Behind him was his team, his wife, watching from the front row, her hands clenched in prayer. El Matador entered the cage like a man walking into destiny. The cage doors closed. The commentary team fell silent for a moment. The crowd buzzed. Everyone knew something historic was about to unfold. Round one. Charles opened with his signature pressure. A teep kick, a flurry of combinations. Ilia remained patient, calm, reading every movement. Oliveira attempted a level change, a quick takedown. Ilia stuffed it with raw strength and responded with a punishing calf kick. The sound echoed through the arena. Oliveira's footwork slowed. The crowd felt it. Another exchange, and Ilia landed a short hook. Clean, sharp. Oliveira retreated. He smiled, but it was a smile of someone who had just tasted the power. A smile that masked pain. Ilia continued to chip away. Leg kicks, jabs, constant movement. Oliveira pulled guard, a move he hadn't used since his earlier UFC days. Topuria didn't bite. He backed off, motioned him to stand. The crowd booed, but Ilia knew better than to roll with a boa constrictor on the mat. Round two began, and Charles came out fast again. A flying knee missed by inches. Ilia countered with a brutal right to the body. You could hear the breath leave Oliveira's lungs. He backed into the fence. And then it came. A left hook, a right hand over the top, and a third shot straight down the middle. Charles Oliveira dropped. Flat. The same Charles who had been in wars with Gaethje, Chandler, Poirier, was now lying unconscious. The referee jumped in. The arena erupted. The crowd didn't know whether to scream or gasp. Ilia Topuria had done what most thought impossible. He knocked out Du Bronx. Topuria didn't celebrate wildly. He didn't jump on the cage. He turned, walked his corner, and raised one finger. One division conquered. One to go. Dana White stood cage side, speechless. Fighters took to Twitter. Max Holloway wrote, "Ilia's the real deal." Patty Pimblett, who had once mocked Topuria, posted a simple fire emoji. Conor McGregor, watching from a yacht, wrote, "Sharp work by El Matador. Clean kill." Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira sat on the stool. The doctors checked his eyes, but he wasn't hurt physically. His body was fine. It was his spirit that was broken. The cameras caught it. His eyes drifting into the distance, replaying the shots in his mind, wondering what had gone wrong. Ilia took the mic. He didn't call anyone out. He didn't insult. He simply said, "I'm here to collect belts. Featherweight, lightweight, anyone, anywhere." The lightweight division was put on notice. Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. They were all now potential targets. But none were safe. Backstage, Charles Oliveira's team comforted him. His coach told reporters, "He's still a warrior. Everyone falls. It's how you rise." But even his voice shook, because that night, it wasn't just a loss. It felt like the end of an era. Charles Oliveira's reign as the most dangerous finisher in the UFC had met its match, and that match's name was Ilia Topuria. The UFC 317 main event wasn't just a fight. It was a changing of the guard, a symbolic torch passing from one generation of killers to the next. And for fans, it was a reminder that in the UFC, greatness doesn't last forever, unless your name is El Matador.